Hello everyone, it's April Garwood from Banana Moon Studio. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the fan and V stitch. So to work this stitch we have to start with a slip knot on our hook, and then we are going to chain a multiple of 8 plus 2 more. So we're going to start with a multiple of 8. I've chained 24, which is a multiple of 8. I'll chain 2 more. Now I'm ready to begin row 1. The first thing to do is to single crochet in the second chain from our hook. The loop on the hook is not a chain, so here under my left thumb you can see the first chain and now the second one. I'm going to work under both front and back loops of that chain to make a single crochet stitch. So we yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then I need to skip the next 3 chains and work 9 double crochet stitches in the next. So I'll be skipping, let's see, this big open hole here, that is where I've already stitched. So I'll be skipping 1, 2, and 3. In this one I'll be working 9 double crochet stitches under both front and back loops. That completes 9 double crochet stitches, so it's going to fan out like that. And then I need to skip the next 3 chains and single crochet in the next. So this chain just in front of my left thumb has gotten squeezed up kind of tightly from putting all these double crochet stitches here. But so the first chain I need to skip is here, and then there's 2 and 3. Now I'm ready to work into this one, so I'll single crochet under both front and back loops. And then I'm going to be repeating that across. So I will skip 3 chains, and then I will place 9 double crochet stitches in this chain. And then I will skip the next 3 chains. That's 1, 2, and 3. And I'll single crochet here. And then I'll repeat that one more time by skipping 3, 1, 2, and 3, placing 9 double crochet stitches here. And then I will skip 3 more, 1, 2, and 3, and single crochet in the last chain. If you start with a longer chain than I did, you may have more repeats before coming to your last chain. That finishes row 1. To begin row 2, we need to turn our work so that we're ready to work back across row 1. And we're going to start with a chain 3. When you're going back and looking at your stitch counts after a pattern, this chain 3 will count as a double crochet stitch. And we're going to yarn over and make a double crochet stitch here in the very first stitch. So this is essentially going to look like we have 2 double crochet stitches in the first stitch. Then we are going to chain 5. We're going to skip this fan, all 9 of those stitches, yarn over. In this single crochet stitch between the fans, we are going to make a V-stitch. So that's going to be a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. Then we are going to chain 5. Yarn over, skip this fan, and another V-stitch in this single crochet stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now we're going to chain 5. Skip this fan, and now when we come to our final single crochet stitch, we'll yarn over. We're going to make 2 double crochet stitches here. And now we turn our work to begin row 3. For row 3, we're going to chain 3, and again that's going to count as though it were a double crochet stitch. We're going to yarn over and make 4 double crochet stitches in the first stitch. This group of 4DC and turning chain essentially is half of a fan. We are going to now single crochet in the middle of this fan that is 2 rows below where we're working. The middle stitch is the 5th one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can count them. We'll go into the top of this double crochet stitch, but also under this chain from the previous row. Just leave it on top of where you're working, and you're going to single crochet in the top of that fan, and it encloses that chain 5 inside of it. After we do that, we will work 9 double crochet stitches in our next V-stitch. So that's working inside the chain space, inside the V. So now the 9 double crochet stitches we're making here are going to be one of our fans. And you do kind of have to squeeze them all in there. Okay, now again we'll be working a single crochet in the top of this fan from row 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the center of it. I'll go in that stitch and I'm going to single crochet in that stitch enclosing the chains above it. Then in my next V-stitch here, I'll be working another fan, 9 double crochet stitches. And then in the fan here from row 1, I will single in the center of it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet over that chain. And then when I get to my last 2 stitches here, I am going to place 5 double crochet stitches in the top of my turning chain. I'm going to go under both loops of that top chain and place my 5 double crochet stitches there. I don't recommend going under just one loop of that chain, because if you do, the hole underneath it is going to get pulled open much more so than if you work under both loops. Alright, so now at the end of row 3, here's what we have. I have these 2 fans, and then on the edges I have 2 half fans. For row 4, we need to turn and chain 3. In this case, our chain 3 is not counting as a stitch. I'm going to skip all 5 of these double crochet stitches, and I am going to work a V-stitch in this single crochet. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. As you can see here, the turning chain that we made is not counting as a stitch because it's traveling across the top of this half fan. Now I'm going to chain 5, skip all the stitches of this fan, and work my V-stitch in this single crochet. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then I am going to chain 5. Again, I'll skip this fan and V-stitch in this single crochet. And now, to finish, I am going to chain 2. I'm going to skip these 4 double crochet stitches, and I'm going to slip stitch in the top of my turning chain. So under both loops of that top chain, I will place a slip stitch. Oops. There we go. And now to work row 5, I will turn. Here's what we have just before beginning row 5. So we have our V stitches connected by our chain spaces. For row 5, I'm going to start with a chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet over the slip stitch into the top of the turning chain where I just made that slip stitch. So like this. And now I'm going to skip the chain space and work a fan in this V-stitch. So that's going to be 9 double crochet stitches in this space. And now I will single crochet in the fan 2 rows below in the center of it. I'll go into the top of that 5th double crochet stitch, and then I want to make sure that I'm crocheting over the chain from the previous row. And now I am going to yarn over and make 9 double crochet stitches in this V-stitch. And now I will single crochet in the center stitch of this fan and over the chains above it. And I'll work another fan in this V-stitch. Now that I have finished my last fan and I'm nearly to the end of my row, I am going to single crochet in this double crochet stitch right here. So I have the 5 of this half fan, and I started my last row with this group of chains. I'm going to single crochet in the top of this last double crochet stitch over those chains. That completes row 5. Let's take a look at what we have here. So you can see how this really, the fans look very round here, but once you make the rows above it, they almost get a little pointed instead of rounded. And so you can see how it makes this really pretty, more kind of diamond shape with a little teardrop at the bottom of it. So in order to continue working in fan and V-stitch, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5. So you can see that row 5 looks a lot like row 1. It has fans in the same places and single crochet stitches in the same places. The only reason that we go on and make a row 5 is because row 5 is worked into a previous row instead of into our foundation chain. So your rows 2 through 5, as you continue repeating those over and over, that's how you're going to continue expanding your fan and V-stitch. I have, I think, 3 crochet patterns, free patterns on my website that use this pretty stitch pattern. You can find the links for those in the description of this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I hope you all have a lovely day.